So, hello everybody, welcome back to another video. So, as you obviously know by the title, today is going to be how to paint your calipers on your car. So it's a pretty easy job to do, but I'm just going to pretty much show you what you need to do and how to do it. So, if you are interested, stick around for today's video. So, my calipers are actually red at the minute, but I've not done them in quite a while, so they are actually fading. So we're going to go over today with this. So all you really need is just spray caliper paint, whatever colour you want, white, red, black, green, you know, whatever. So once you've got a caliper paint, you do have to have this as well, obviously, for the heat, so it doesn't peel off, because if it was normal paint it would start peeling off with the heat of your brakes and then onto your calipers. So yeah, that is one thing that you're going to need, and a paintbrush that you're not really bothered about getting destroyed by this paint. So, first thing we're going to do is to undo all the wheel nuts before we lift up the car. So they're way easy to get off when the wheel is up and it's all kind of, the weight is on the wheel pushing it down on the nuts. So that's what we'll do first. Before I do actually start this, I will just quickly show you how they look currently. So I did these about 6 months ago. I've done them one time before again, but it's been ages. As you know as well, you might notice that it is really mucky. That is deliberate. So don't worry, it is for another video, which will be a suds review video, so that'll be interesting. But anyway, let's get back to this video. So the calipers, as you can see, I'll just take you around them now. Not sure how amazing it will be with the light in here. So yeah, but I'll only do one side first and then I will show you the difference. So yeah, that is pretty much how they look at the minute before doing them. So like I said, we'll undo the bolts slightly and then we'll lift it up. Okay, so now that we've undone all of them slightly, we will lift the car up and then we'll move on to the calipers. Also do make sure as well, just so it makes it a little bit easier when you're taking the wheels off, that you have got the handbrake on obviously and it is in gear. So basically when you take the wheel off it won't just spin and it'll lock and then you can take the wheel off. So yeah. So now we are just going to jack the car up on my very rusty jacking points, so see how that goes. So now that the car is up on jack stands, at least for the back, just take the wheels off on either side. Okay, so now you've got your wheels off, it should look something like this. I've actually got spacers on here, but I will be making another video on them as well, so please do check that out. But anyway, once you go to this stage, well, we'll take the other one off first, and then I'll tell you what we need to do. Okay, so now that the wheels are off, by the way, quick tip, I just did notice with one of these, this was happening with mine. If you cannot get the wheels off, they are quite kind of tight on. What you can do is just sit like this and just kick either side of the wheel like that. Obviously not that hard that you know, you're going to knock it off the jack stands or anything like that, but it will help you get them off if it's been sat there quite a long time, you know, especially with lockdown, etc. and you want to get your wheels off. So just a quick tip. Okay, so in this case I will be using a paint, but I'm sure they do lots of different variations and lots of different colours of spray paint that you can use on your calipers. I just do find the painting a little bit easier because you can get it exactly where you want it to go, and I think generally, I don't know about this, I might not be right, so don't take my word for it, but I think the paint will last longer hopefully, because it'll be a bit thicker, etc. So yeah, personally I'm going to use paint, but I'll show you what you need to do if you are using a spray paint right now. So if you are going to be using a spray paint for this, you can do something a little bit like this. You might want to use a little bit more stuff to cover it up, but basically it's just covering around the caliper with some towels or, you know, paper or anything really to stop overspray. So that's how I've done it, but you might want to do it a bit different. But like I've just said, the paint will be a little bit easier and it should technically last longer. So yeah. Anyway, as I said, I'll be doing the paint, so let's carry on to doing it. Okay, so painting the actual caliper itself is pretty standard. You just paint the caliper. So you do want to watch out that you're not painting, you know, on the bleed nipple or the bit in between here, the rubber. So any kind of rubber seals like around here at the bottom, you don't want to be doing that, because that's where the actual, you know, mechanism that presses the caliper in will work. So you don't want to get any around this area. So you just want it on the actual body of the caliper itself. You definitely don't want to catch any on the brake disc or around the pad, so just be very careful when you're doing it. Just start off with a very light coat. Also I would recommend using sandpaper, but in this case I will not be, because I've already painted them red, and I think this paint that I'm using will be fine because it is a pretty thick paint for this. So yeah, so we'll just go over this now. We'll paint the rear two, and then we'll do the front two. I probably won't film that because it's just the exact same as what I'll be doing here, just a little bit of a different caliper. And then I will show you the difference between the two. You know, if one's faded that you've done and you want to do it again, this can be very useful. Or if you are wanting to paint it first time or redo it in another colour, then it will be useful to see what they look like before and after. So yeah, we'll just go over this and we'll just paint it now. Okay, so now that is obviously redone, you can actually see in the video itself that it is way better, but in person it looks so much better again also. So if you are wanting to refresh the caliper or start painting it from what it is factory obviously, which may just be a boring kind of silver or something like that, this is what it will look like. So yeah, obviously like I said, you want to sandpaper it down with some high grit sandpaper. Then you do want to also make sure it's clean before you are applying it, so there's no dust or brake dust or anything like that, any mud on it or dirt or any kind of debris on it that might you know, cause the paint to peel off, or the spray paint that you are using. So yeah, as you can see, I did actually a little bit too much on, and it's kind of dripping off. So like I said at the start, make sure that you do just be very careful how much you are applying, but I'm just going to do one coat on this because I think this should be enough. So yeah, this is looking alright so far. So I'm going to do the other side, and then I will actually show you the difference between the old and the new. Okay, so now they are painted, I will just show you them on the back, and then on the front. The front wheels are still on, so I don't know how you'll be able to see them, but I'll just show you before, you know, I do all of them, and then they'll be all done. So here we go. Okay, so now the wheel is back on. Just when you're doing the wheel on, by the way, when you're putting it on, sorry, just make sure that you do the lug nuts, the nuts diagonally. So you want to make sure that you are doing it, when you are tightening them, you are doing them diagonally. So when you actually come to fully tighten them up, it is all flush all the way around. because if you don't do that, you might have a slight gap, and then that might be a problem, you know, later down the line. So just make sure that you are doing them like that, pretty much. And also just tighten them up, but not mega tight, because when you do drop the car down, you're gonna have to redo it again. So just another little useful thing to know. Let's go back. Let's go back to Greenland. Stop love that don't exist. You won't accept my letter. The only thing let's go back to Greenland. Stop love that don't exist. You won't accept my letter. The only thing let's go back. So everybody, thank you for watching today's video. Hope it was useful for some people, just to learn about this. If you are looking at painting your calipers, it's a pretty simple thing to do, to be fair. It's just taking your time with it and making sure that you're not kind of overspraying or painting over stuff you don't want to. And yeah, so I also found out as well that if you do clean them down, so if you have done them recently, like a few months ago, you can just refresh them just by cleaning them. So yeah, that's another way. But yeah, hope it was a useful video. Thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next video.